Welcome to Physics 102. This is your instructor, Julia Nicholas, and in this short video, we will cover everything you need to know to get started with your course. I'm guessing you've heard of solids, liquids, and gases, but there's a fourth phase of matter called plasma that makes up the amazing northern lights in the picture here. This is one of the many fascinating things that we'll learn about in Physics 102. In this video, we are going to cover basic course information, including going over your syllabus and text, brief overview of your weekly assignments and how you'll be graded. We'll cover how to get started with the course. There's two sites that you'll be using, Canvas and Mastering Physics, and we'll go over both of those. And lastly, we'll cover how to succeed in an online course. So first, let's go over some basic information about the course. First, let's cover some basic information about the course. It is a 3-unit lecture, 1-unit lab course, and you must be enrolled in both the lecture and the lab. For your lecture, all the coursework is done online. You'll use two sites, Canvas and Mastering Physics, and I'll go over how to use both of those coming up. For the lab, you'll need to purchase lab supplies, and a list of lab supplies is posted on Canvas, and you will complete your labs at home using these supplies. Each week, you'll have homework, which you'll do through Mastering Physics. We'll go over that in just a little bit. You'll have discussions. You'll have an initial post due Wednesday and 2 replies due on Sunday. You'll have a lab each week, and you will have 2 tests and 1 cumulative final. Now, if you're wondering where you're going to go to do your work, since I mentioned there's 2 sites, all of your main course information is on Canvas. That's where you'll find your course calendar, a list of assignments, where you'll do your discussions, your labs, and check your grades, and communicate with other students. The Mastering Physics site is a site where you'll go to do your homework and your tests. There's also an e-text there and study tools that are available on the Mastering Physics site. First, let's look at Canvas, which is your main course site. So there are 2 ways that you can get logged into Canvas. You can go to MyKCC through the Klamath CC website, which is this link right here, and you can select the Canvas distance education link. This is the direct link here, so if you want to just save that in your favorites, that direct link, you can click on that to get logged in to Canvas. So when you get to the Canvas web page, either by clicking here or going directly here, you'll see this login screen here, and you'll enter in your username and password, which are the same username and password that you use for MyKCC. And your username, I believe, should be your student ID. So you'll enter your username and password in, and that will take you to what they call the dashboard in Canvas, and you should see a however many classes you have, you'll have a square for each class of a different color and the class name below that. And so you'll click on the class that you want to go into. And so, for example, if you want to go into Bio 270, you'll click on Bio 270, and that will take you to all of the content for the course. Now, on that main screen where you see the different squares for each class, there's this little button here that you can click over at the top, and that will take you from these squares with all your classes to a list of recent activity. And so if you happen to see this when you first log into the course or log into Canvas and you want to go back to those course squares, you would just click this right here and it would take you back to the colorful squares for your course. When you click on your course, you'll be taken to the course homepage, which is the page in this picture here. And please make sure when you check in that you check announcements to see if there's been any updates. Other than that, the homepage really just has some information there at the bottom on how to get started, making sure that you check the announcements in the syllabus. And then if you'll notice on the left-hand side of this page are all of the links that you can go to within the course. So modules is where you'll be going most of the time when you go into the course. That's where all your weekly assignments broken down by all the assignments with the course broken down by week are located. So most of the time when you go in, you'll click on that modules link. There's also a link here for a course syllabus, which has course-specific information, the KCC institutional syllabus, which has college-wide information, and another important link here is the link to your grades. So I recommend that you check your grades frequently and make sure that everything looks correct in there. And then on the left-hand side is the link to the calendar. So when you click the calendar link, you'll actually be leaving the course and going to a calendar that contains information from all your courses. So it's a helpful feature here in Canvas that if you have other online courses, all of your assignment due dates will be in one place. You can see them all at one time, which is really kind of a nice feature. Here's what your calendar looks like when you click on that calendar link. The classes are color coded. You can see the color coding here. And so each class that you have will have a different color. If you wanted to change the color for the class, you would just click on these three little dots right here, and you could select whatever color helps you think of that class. Maybe your textbook is a certain color or something. And the assignments in the calendar will be that color. So it's kind of hard to see here, but if you notice this assignment's green, corresponds to the green class. The blue assignments correspond to the blue class. And so all of your assignments, when you have discussions and homework and tests and all that, the due dates will show up in this calendar here. If you see this icon here, a little call out icon, that means there's a discussion. A plus icon means that you have a homework or some kind of other assignment due. And then Q means that you have a quiz or a test due. So if you click the modules link, you will see the screen here, and you're going to want to start where it says start here. What you're watching right now is the Getting Started with Physics 102 video, and so you will have watched that, and you will want to next complete the syllabus quiz right here. You must complete this quiz by Thursday of this week, or you will be automatically dropped for non-attendance. So that's what the college uses to monitor if you've logged into the class and if you are starting to participate. So you want to make sure that one of the first things that you do when you get into the class, you look around a little bit, but please very quickly get the syllabus quiz done. And it just has questions from our course syllabus here and the KCC college syllabus here. So review those two syllabus links and then take the syllabus quiz. Below that is a section called Course Resources. If you want to look at handouts like how to write a lab report, you can find some of the course information handouts right here under this link. Below the Getting Started section are the weekly blocks for each week showing your assignments for the week. So the first thing in any week to do is to go click on this weekly overview, objectives and introduction. Read through that. I'll give you important information about what you'll be doing this week, each week, and any other information that you might need to know for the week. Below that is a section called lecture. This has all of your lecture work, and a section called lab where all your lab work is. In each lecture week, typically you'll have a lecture video and or lecture slides. You'll have a discussion for the week and a link for your homework. Now you won't actually do the homework here, but this is where your homework grade will go. So you'll do the homework in Mastering Physics, and then I'll put your grade in this link. So this is just to remind you that you do have homework and to go to Mastering Physics to do that. If you don't see a homework link in a week, that means that you do not have homework that week. In the lab, you'll typically just have one lab assignment for the week where it'll say like week 1 lab or week 2 lab. In this first week, there are 2 links there because one of those links is to have you order your lab supplies. So you'll click on that and that will give you a list of everything that you need to be ordering for lab. Now, if you click on the grades link over on the left-hand side, there's modules, and one of those things you can click on is grades. You should see a screen like this. It will have a list of all of your different assignments. Please make sure that you check your grades frequently to make sure that everything looks accurate. The Mastering Physics grades I am entering by hand from Mastering Physics over into the site. So check those points, make sure that I enter them in correctly, and please let me know if you see anything that doesn't look right when you check your grades. All assignments that are due on Sunday of any given week will be graded by the Sunday of the next week, so within 1 week of the due date. And you'll want to check your this lecture category, that grade, and you'll want to check the lab category grade. So you'll be getting 2 different grades for this class. You'll be getting a lecture grade and a lab grade, and whatever is in this category is what your overall grade for lecture and your overall grade for lab are. It has a category total. If I could get rid of it, I would, but I cannot do that. But the total category isn't relevant because you will not be getting a combined grade. So just make sure that you look individually at that lecture category and the lab category. Okay, next let's look at the Mastering Physics site, which is where you'll go to do your homework, your tests, and there are some other study aids there that you might find helpful. So to get set up with Mastering Physics, the first thing that you need to do if you are ordering a hard copy book is to purchase your book. Your book looks like this. You can purchase the book in the bookstore, which comes with an access code to the Mastering Physics site for $248. It is kind of pricey. I think the reason they do it so expensive is because part of that is that access code to allow you to have access to all the resources through Mastering Physics. A cheaper option is that you can purchase an ebook and with access code online for $115. So you won't have a hard copy book, but you'll be able to look up anything you need in the book online. And this does work for this course as well and gives you the access code to Mastering Physics. Your third and final option is to buy a used book, and then you could purchase an access code online for $66. So if you were able to find a really cheap used book of this, I believe it's the 12th edition, then you could purchase just the access code online for $66. Whatever option you choose, though, you are going to need the access code because all your homework and tests are done through Mastering Physics, and there's not really any way to get around that. So make sure that whichever option you choose, that it comes with an access code. When you have your access code, or if you're planning to purchase it online, you will go to masteringphysics.com. You'll select Student under Register Now, and then you will either enter your access code or purchase an access code on that site. Make sure that if you bought a book with an access code that you do not purchase one online. You'll use the access code that came in your book. There should be a card in your book that has that access code. You will select Register Now, and then on the next screen you're going to need to enter in the course ID, which is Winter 2017 PHY 102. And then you will select a username and password and enter in the email that you want to use with the account and get all of your rest of the setup done through Mastering Physics. Once you finally get through that process, you'll be able to access the course, and the main screen that you see here is a calendar. The calendar is really helpful. It has all of your links to anything that you need to be doing through Mastering Physics. So typically each week you'll have either a homework assignment due or a test due. And so you'll just click on that highlighted link there, and it will take you to that assignment that you need to do. That's the calendar. There is also, I'm not sure if everyone has it or not, or if it's only if you purchase the e-text, but there's the e-text link. That might only be if you purchase the e-text version, I'm not sure. And then there's the study area, which has links to lots of different helpful videos and other study tools. And a lot of the videos that they give you with the Mastering Physics Access are directly from your text, and a lot of them are really helpful. So if you're having trouble understanding a certain concept, you might check and see if there are any videos that can help you out with that. And then there is the gradebook tab right here. I don't think you'll have the roster tab, but you could, there's assignments tab, and then you'll have the gradebook tab, and you can keep an eye on your grades for any assignments that you do. So most of the homework and test assignments You'll be able to, as soon as you've completed them, check and see what your grade is in the grade book. And as I mentioned, I'll put the grades for Mastering Physics into Canvas within a week from the due date. So if you do your homework on Sunday, the date's due, then sometime before the following Sunday, I will transfer those grades over to Canvas. And again, check those and make sure that it looks like it got transferred over correctly. Okay, so in Canvas, as I mentioned, there's a link to, if you go into modules and go into week 1, there's a link to your homework, which just says Intro to Mastering Physics. And you will actually go to the Mastering Physics site to do that. So if you click on this Intro to Mastering Physics, it's due on the 15th. You can click on that. It should be available to you. This isn't available, but it should be available to you when you go in there. And you'll click on that link, and the first homework assignment is a tutorial on how to use Mastering Physics. So you will receive full credit for completing this tutorial. You do not have to get the correct answers on the assignment. So we'll actually ask you in some places to put the wrong answer just to see what it looks like when you get a right versus a wrong answer. So don't worry about as you go through it about the right answer, just it's more meant to teach you how to use the Mastering Physics site and how you'll be doing homework within the site. The homework link in Canvas, as I think I said, is for gradebook purposes only. So you'll always go to Mastering Physics to do the homework, but you should be able to check your grades in Canvas. Homework will be based on the lecture and assigned reading material. So all the questions that you see in the homework, you'll either be able to get the answers to those from the lecture or from the reading material that corresponds to the lecture that week. And your homework doesn't look all that exciting, but this is what your homework will look like. It just has a list of each different question and tells you how many points each question is worth. So you'll just click on a question. So you click, for example, on welcome, and you can answer that question, and then you come back and do all the questions in the homework. And please just check and make sure before the week's up that you get all those questions answered so you can get full credit on your homework. Tests will also be completed through the Mastering Physics site. Your test questions will, for the most part, be pulled from your homework. Sometimes they're slightly different from your homework, but if you are wanting to study for the test, I would go back and review your homework questions and make sure that you are know what the answers are to all of those homework questions. And your test format will look exactly like a homework assignment. It will not look any different. Except it will be worth more points and called a test. Next, let's cover the lab supplies that you'll need for the course. So when you're in Canvas, over on the left-hand side, there's the choice of modules. You'll click modules, and then you'll scroll down in week 1 to the right here, this order lab kit and supplies. You'll click on that link. In that link, it will show you a list of the supplies that you need and tell you how many of each thing you need. I have also put an Amazon wish list there. So this is the link to the Amazon wish list, and that's more just to get an idea if you want more details about any item and exactly what you'll need. You can see that on the Amazon wish list. You are welcome to purchase the items from Amazon if that's easy for you, or you are welcome to try to find them on your own anywhere that you can find them around town. If you do go to the Amazon wish list, there's this thing called filters kind of on the upper right hand side. Make sure that it says purchased and unpurchased because otherwise only some of these items will show up. So make sure it says purchased and unpurchased, and then you can look through each of the items to get a little more detail on what it is exactly that you need to order. You can purchase the items, like I said, on Amazon. You can find them around town. Feel free to get creative with any of the items. I've had people, for example, for these springs that you need, pull springs like out of a ballpoint pen. So if you are wanting to cut back on costs, you can definitely, on any of these items, try to find things that will work. And if you have a question on something that maybe you can find and you want to know if that will work, feel free to just send me a message and ask me. I do recommend that you purchase the lab supplies all at the beginning of the quarter. That way, if a week comes up, you're not trying to scramble to get the lab supplies on top of trying to get a lab done. I do understand that some of you funds are tight, so I have listed the lab supplies that you need at the top of each lab. And so if you're waiting for financial aid, you could purchase the lab supplies as you go, rather than purchasing them all at once. But keep in mind, if you do that, you really do need to keep on top of what you need each week. So when you go to do your lab, you have what you need. Most labs will have a table format like the table to the right. So it'll have your question number, and then here's the question, and then you will just fill in your answer here. Most labs have pre-lab questions at the beginning that you'll answer before you do the lab, and then it'll have your lab instructions, and then you'll put your answers into the assignment below that. The answers to your lab worksheet are usually found in the lecture or your textbook chapter that's assigned for the week. So you can see all the due dates on the calendar for the course. Any work that's turned in after the due date can be deducted 10%. If you have a valid reason for your work being turned in late, please let me know and I may not deduct the 10%. So if you have something going on, or you know, especially if a link wasn't working or something, then I definitely won't deduct points for being late. But if you lost internet connection or had something else major going on, please get in touch with me. If you do ever need to turn anything late, it's always best to just let me know what's going on, so I'm aware of your situation and can work with you on making sure that you stay caught up in the course. What doesn't work is to wait until week 10 and tell me you had a lot of things going on, and that you want to try to figure out something at week 10, because then it's really too late. So the sooner you can let me know if something is going on preventing you from turning in your work, the more likely it is that we can work together, make sure that your work gets turned in, and you can get the grade that you were hoping for in the class. Okay, so lastly, let's go over how to get help for the course and then some few pointers on how to succeed in an online course. First off, you can get in touch with me at any time if you need help with the class. One of the quickest ways is just to send me a text or call me at my phone number there. And I usually have my phone on me and can respond to messages fairly quickly. So if you're working on something and need some clarification or some help, feel free to send me a text or give me a call. If it's not urgent at that moment, you can use my email at julia.nicholas@faculty.klamathcc.edu. You could wait until my office hours, which are at Wednesday at 6 to 7 p.m. I have never actually had anyone use my office hours because usually when you ask me a question, I'll get back to you fairly quickly. And so usually people don't need to wait till those office hours, but I am available at Wednesday, on Wednesday from 6 to 7. If you do want to chat, I will be in the chat room on Canvas. Or you can also send me a text message during this time. But if you do need help right away, as I said, the quickest way is to send me a text, and I usually will see that pretty quickly. I do check into Canvas in my email a couple times a day, so I usually try to get back to any questions that I see on my email or on Canvas within a day or so. So that's always my goal, to get back to you within a day, but hopefully sooner if I can. And as I said, if anything comes up and you have questions on anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. So last, for our intro video here, I just want to go over a few tips for how to succeed in an online course. And these are pretty straightforward, but one of the main things is just to start the quarter right. So make sure that from the very beginning of all your classes that you look at your assignments and due dates and keep on track from the very beginning. It's really hard in the class when you get behind to try to do all the work you need to do for the week and do the work that you've gotten behind on. If you can stay caught up each week, makes things a lot simpler. One of the other things is to make sure that you review the calendar each week so that you don't miss important due dates and you know what you need to be working on and how to schedule out your time for the week. I would also try to create a dedicated place and time for your studies. I know at my house if I try to get work done with the kids running around me and everyone awake and busy, I am not very productive. If I can actually get some quiet alone time, I can do way more, way more quickly than if there's a lot going on. Next, try to achieve a school and family balance. So this is important if you have a family and you have lots of other things going on, to try to set aside time that you can spend with your family, and then try to set aside some time where you can focus on getting your work done. I kind of already covered stay on schedule, so it's much easier to keep up with what you need to do than to do um, work that you got behind on and the current work. So trying to stay on schedule with all of your assignments. Another big one is just staying motivated. And I think about midway through the quarter, tend to kind of lose steam and you get tired and burned out. And trying to keep up that motivation and just counting down those weeks and knowing that you need to stay focused, get your assignments done, and not lose track of that the end is coming eventually, and you will get it done, but just staying motivated with getting those assignments done each week and all the way through the 10 weeks, since every week in a quarter is pretty busy. Another thing is to participate in the course. So in those discussions, make sure that you're not only checking in to make sure that you get the discussions done for your points, but staying in contact with the other students and asking questions when you need them is a good way to make sure that you are staying involved with the course and keeping up on what you need to be doing throughout the course, and also having that support of your students who are also going through probably a lot of the same challenges that you're going through. Another thing is get help when you need it, so don't be afraid to ask for help. You can feel free at any time to work with other students on assignments. If you want to chat online with each other and work together, you can contact me at any time if you need help and ask questions. So just make sure if something seems complicated or is taking you what seems like too long, feel free to ask for help to keep moving things along for the quarter. And kind of already mentioned, but look for study partners. So if there's someone that you can work with in the class, it's always easier to, I think, to work on things when you have someone to talk things over with. Lastly, work ahead when you can. One advantage to an online course is that everything is posted online and waiting for you. So if you get a chance to work ahead, it can be a big help down the road. So anything you can do in a week before it's due kind of takes the burden off. If you know you're going to have a busy week, then you can feel free to turn in anything that you'd like before the due date. Okay, we've covered all the basics. You get to start having fun now with your physics course. So as Sheldon would say from the Big Bang Theory, the physics is theoretical, but the fun is real. So log into Canvas to get started with your 11 weeks of physics fun. That's all for now. I will be in touch with you again in week 1.